Welcome to a special edition of the Cold Truth Podcast. I am your host, White Boy Chris, and I'm going to say the only reason why I am doing this podcast this late, nobody knew I was doing this. It's kind of just random. I wanted to do it, but for one, I have to give myself donkey of the fucking day. For y'all that follow me, the few followers that I have, but I appreciate y'all. I did a podcast on Monday and I had the in season tournament as my cover and I didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it. So, donkey of the day, hey man, the one thing about being a donkey, you got to admit when you done did donkeyish things. So, donkey of the day goes to this fella. You can't have that as your goddamn thumbnail and you don't even talk about it. So, as somebody that recognizes the error of his raise, hey man, donkey of the day has no right but to go to me. So let's just kick that off. I am giving myself donkey of the day. And you can see I did this so quick. I did not even bother to change any of the logos. You know, shout out to the two know-it-alls. Check them out every Tuesday. But I just had to come in and jump in and do this real quick, y'all, because I really did have some stuff I wanted to say, but I had everything wrote down, but for some reason I did not have that written down. But hey man, y'all make mistakes. It is what it is. We here now. Y'all see the changes going on. So hey man, just rock with me. But the NBA in season tournament. So I, along with a lot of other people, was kind of trying to see how they were going to make this work. And just from what I understand, I don't think that there'll be I think there'll be games going on during the Final Four, but just so I can kind of just put up the rules and stuff like that, so that everybody can see. So first off, they got the whole entire league broken up into three groups, as far as like three in the West, three in the East. So in the total, you got six groups, five in these groups, and I believe they were all based on records last year. So three groups in the West. We got Grizzlies, Suns, Lakers, Jazz, and the Trailblazers. Uh, in West A. West B, we got the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Pelicans, the Mavericks, and the Rockets. In the West C, we got the Kings, we got the Warriors, Timberwolves, Thunder, and the Spurs. So what I'm noticing is that for the most part, you got at least two to three playoff teams in each one of those groups. This is as far as the West. And then on the East, in the A block, 76ers, Cavaliers, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons. Then you got the Bucks, the Knicks, the Heat, the Wizards, and the Hornets. EC, Celtics, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, Magic. So those are the groups that are broken up. So again, to determine each team's opponents in group play games, the 15 teams in each conference were divided into three groups of five teams. Okay, they were random drawing. Okay, I thought it was based on record. But let's just go up to the summary, just in case for anybody don't understand. Of course, playoffs, play-in tournament season is starting this season. Start on November 3rd, and we'll finish with the championship on December 9th. So, in-season tournament will consist on two stages: group play and the knockout rounds. Group play, 30 teams have been randomly drawn into the groups of five. So, what that is pretty much the regular season games that you have within your conference are going to go towards your record as far as going towards the play-in tournament or the in-season tournament. I keep saying play-in, two different things. The in-season tournament. So from the 3rd to the 28th, you're going to have those games on tournament nights, but they're still going to count as a regular season game because again, those games are going to be played in your conference, and we all know NBA divisions, they matter if records are kind of close, but you really want to have best records as far as conference goes. So they have made have made it clear that on the tournament nights you'll have one game against each opponent in his group. So we know that you're gonna see, you know, pretty much those opponents in that group at least 4 times in the season, right? So 8 teams will advance to knockout rounds. The team with the best standing in group play games in each of the 6 groups and 2 wild cards. So they're taking a little book out of the NFL. I mean, a little page out the NFL book. They're going to have 2 wild cards. The team from each conference with the best record in group play games that finish second in the group. So those would be the wild cards. And then the knockout rounds would be single elimination. And I really think that that is what's going to be so exciting about this tournament. I'm not going to go into the full rules. Everything that you need to see is on, NBA's website. Y'all, I just want to read, that part right there to where we can get to the single elimination games. Now, look, I initially was one of those people. I was not, somebody that was real, real big on adding other stuff with the regular season and things and that nature, stuff like that. But now that I'm looking at it and just seeing in the direction that the league is going, I kind of like this. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that they've done that I don't agree with, but at the same time, I do agree that the end season tournament will be something that's good for the league. I feel like is it's going to give people a reason to watch during the regular season. And this is the reason I say that. So, for people that have been watching from the beginning, y'all know I do football and I do basketball, right? So, if I wanted to, I could really talk about football all year, all season, because there's always something going on. NFL stays in the news, but with the NBA, it's kind of like, you know, a lot of people don't really watch during the regular season. You have people that are going to end up watching, football and other sports, people that are true fans, and then they don't end up watching the NBA until February, of course, till after the Super Bowl. So I feel like that this tournament will give the regular season a lot more meaning in the fact that I think down the line, you won't see as many people or players, I might add, trying to sit out during some of these games, right? Because when you look at some of these teams that are in this tournament as far as how they're grouped up, a lot of these. So let's just look at the West, for instance, right? So in the A block, that's a perfect example. In the A block, or matter of fact, the B block, or no, I'll stick with the A block. You have the Memphis Grizzlies, you have the Phoenix Suns, you have the Los Angeles Lakers, the Utah Jazz, and the Portland Trailblazers. You cannot sit here and tell me that the Grizzlies, the Suns, and the Lakers, 3 teams that we kind of assume are going to be playoff teams, are going to take the. I mean, they may, play the Jazz because I feel like the Jazz are still one of those teams that are still going to fight. But you can't sit here and tell me that they're going to sit there and really, don't LeBron and AD are not playing when they play the Trailblazers in Portland. Let me just say that they're not playing against the Trailblazers in Portland. When you look at the West Sea, nobody's really probably worried about playing in San Antonio. OKC, you may have some people because we see OKC on the rise. B block, you got the Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks, Rockets. That may be the most competitive group out of the West, to where they may play every game. The only odd team out is probably the Rockets, because if we assume that the Pelicans are going to be healthy, the B block in the West is probably going to give us the most problems. So I think that this is going to make it to where people are going to take these in-season games a lot more serious, because this in-season trophy is probably going to. It may not mean nothing now, but give it a couple of years, you're gonna have some dudes that's really trying to play for this damn trophy. Like right now, you probably got some stars that are like, oh, I'm not going for that. But a lot of these new young dudes that's coming in that's really wanting to compete, they trying to get that trophy. At, the, at this point, people is trying to get every accolade they can, every accolade they can. And just like Diddy just said, they are trying to find a solution to this load management because we see it in summer league. So we know we're gonna. You already see it in summer league, so you know it's gonna happen during the regular season. So at first I was, like, I don't too much know if I really care for the in season tournament, why they doing this and all this. But once I really sat back and thought about it, I was like, hey man, this actually might be a good move for the league because when you look at it, what else could they have done to increase viewership? I mean, the only time, during football season that we really probably truly just pay attention to basketball until it's over, because you got to think about it. NFL got Thanksgiving, on lock. I don't even know if the NBA plays games on Thanksgiving. They might, but you know, and then when we look at Christmas, only reason that NFL is playing on Christmas, Christmas better fall on a Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. That's the only way that the NFL is playing on Christmas. But the NBA, for the most part, has the Christmas locked down. So just a casual sports fan, they're probably not going to watch a lick of NBA basketball, just as far as, really being in tune until Christmas and then thereafter. You know what I mean? So just as far as competitiveness, viewership, I wasn't gonna spend a lot of time, but I did just want to go ahead and just put this out because again, I gave myself donkey of the day. I didn't talk about, the tournament the way I was supposed to on Monday, and I even slapped myself in the face. I ended my NBA talk on Dylan Brooks. I ended it on Dylan Brooks. So dummy, I did it for y'all. I feel bad for myself. So yeah, man. But in season tournament, I like it. I went over the West. Let me go over the East. Like again, A block, 76ers, Cavaliers, Atlanta, Pacers, Pistons, eh. Sixers and Cavaliers is really the only two competitive teams in that block. I really don't see Atlanta taking a step. They looking real shaky. Indiana, yeah, y'all getting a lot of players. Let's see what moves y'all make. Y'all just played Halliburton. Y'all got Bruce Brown. You still got Miles Turner. Let's see what moves they make. The B block is the one that I'm really looking forward to. You got the Bucks, the Knicks, the Heat, all playoff teams. You got the Wizards, and then you got the Hornets that a lot of people are projecting to make a big step. So it looked like the B block on both teams, and I'm gonna just share it just so y'all can see what I'm looking at. It's like, oh, dead. I drop. You say dead. Yeah, man. I had to slap myself, man. I had to give myself donkey of the day. I had to give myself donkey of the day. But I'm finna drop the link in the comments real quick. The link is in the comments. But yeah, I'm finna go ahead and share this screen real quick, just so y'all can see the teams. So again, we got the Grizzlies, Suns, Lakers, Jazz, Blazers, Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks, Rockets, Kings, Warriors, Timberwolves, Thunder, Spurs. Ask your girl to try to pick out them logos. And then on the East, what's up, my guy?
What's up with it, fool? I'm glad
76ers,
Did
Cavaliers,
this.
I'm
Pacers,
glad
Did
Pistons.
this.
Huh?
I said I'm glad you
Did
did
this.
it.
I was looking at the in season tournament. Nigga, I like it.
Man, when I tell you I was supposed to talk about this on Monday, and I was like, how did I forget to talk about this, man? How did I forget to talk about this? But hey, I just realized, I got a little time because I'm gonna step out. But I was like, yeah, I got a little time. I can talk about this real quick.
That West A group,
Look crazy.
Man, I'm looking at the B for both of them.
West B,
B and the East B. You got the
not the
you
East
got the
B.
Clippers, the Pelicans. The Pelicans. It just depends on what they looking like. I like the moves the Mavericks made. The only odd one out to me is the Rockets. And then when I go to the East B, The only odd one out to me is the Wizards because I think the Hornets are going to take a jump. I think they got all the pieces. In the West, I mean, we know what the Jazz doing. They stocking up draft picks. We know what Portland got going on in the West A. So I really just see the top three teams. But when I look at the West B and the East B, I see four teams.
The East B,
I don't really like the East B unless you like the Hornets.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think the Hornets gonna take a jump.
okay. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna say
I think the Hornets gonna take a jump. I mean, I talk my shit about Melo. I still be biased, but I just look at it. If they able to stay healthy with the pieces they got, they can do something.
I'm just man, God.
Lee, that West B do look crazy. Them 4 teams, and then the
Bro,
Rockets fucking around.
don't
They
let the Rockets fuck around and do something, make some noise.
They say they got athletes and now
they got a good coach. They got veterans now.
Yep.
Uh,
oh, that West A
it's
looks.
crazy though, cause I think Utah better than what we think. Just because I think they literally start tanking. They literally was kicking everybody ass at the beginning of last year.
They was, but that's the thing. Like, what are they gonna do next year? Because again, I talked about this on Monday. Them niggas got so many goddamn picks, bro. But it's like when you just look at the roster. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like John Collins, but do I feel like he's gonna be a difference maker in what they did last year?
I think
Laurie Markkinen, he fuck around, take a jump. Like Laurie Markkinen, he kind of a little bit older, but he not that old. And then
Nah, he's not. But
Walker Kessler was a rookie last year. He was one of the best defensive bigs in the whole league. And then they got in Keontae George. Keontae George, one of the most NBA ready young dudes. Hey, Utah, they got some depth. They still got Clarkson. They got Sexton. And then they might make some trades. They got
yeah.
that. Hey, I think Utah gonna be
And
very
that's what
good
I'm
next year.
saying. Like I like because the roster they got right now, I feel like they definitely go. It's like one of them rosters where like they ain't gonna be nobody to sleep at, but it's like they still got to make one or two more moves for me to like just be like, okay, Utah really gonna be like that.
but I feel like they got the best top three though. Out of all these groups, because I don't trust the Pelicans. I
Still
still
don't trust the Pelicans. So I'll give it to West A,
And like,
then West
again,
B.
I'm only saying this just because if the if because we know what it comes down to with the Pelicans, we already know what it comes down to, and again, it's another if. I ain't even finna get into all that. But we already know what that's gonna be if the right people are doing what they supposed to do.
How you feeling about the Clippers?
I don't know. I feel like they finna
The
drop
Clippers
off
are
kind
gonna
of bad, man.
always now see the only reason why I'm because I'm looking at this for what it is. This is ending in December. This ain't nothing talking about no playoffs. You know what I'm saying? No nothing like that. I can expect to see these niggas in November. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these I can expect to see a lot of these niggas in November.
Man, I ain't even.
Now
I ain't
if
not even in November. I ain't trusting, bro. I don't see Kawhi playing in this shit, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you,
I mean,
Chris.
but if you were to ask me playoffs, then of course this is a whole nother story. But I think we can expect to at least see them play some games in November. Now, when we get to December, January, February, then yeah, hell no, I ain't gonna expect to see that. I ain't gonna expect to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
it's,
we gotta remember Kawhi knee injury wasn't. I mean, yeah, he was hurt, but I don't think it's something that was gonna keep him out for no full season. So he should be ready. Same
I
thing
think
with
he
Paul
was something
George.
else.
I think Kawhi was something else. I think he had to get like some cleanup surgery done, and then I don't know. It just November. I just don't see Kawhi giving a damn, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man.
I'm just looking at it. I mean, I'm not gonna
They
say he
If
gonna
they
give a damn.
play, if
I'm
they
not gonna
play,
say that he gonna give a damn, but I do feel like I don't think he's gonna give a damn about the tournament itself. But you are gonna have to give a damn about these games. That's why I feel like no matter how you look at it, if you playing somebody sorry or not, these are still games that are in your conference. And like I had said earlier, like yeah, a lot of people don't know. Yeah, they got divisions in the NBA, but that shit really don't matter unless like your records are like really, really, really close. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So the fact of the matter is that you got to play teams in your own conference. Like these games matter towards something.
I
So
think
you
it's gonna.
can't.
I think it's gonna be something unique, Chris. I think it's gonna be a young team that win this shit, man. I feel
That's that.
like
That I was thinking the same exact thing, only because like how these vets is, man. Every time the NBA try to introduce something, they try to figure out a way to manipulate it to where they ain't got to play in this shit.
Yup.
But again, it's still gonna be kind of hard because like when you look at it, like we could just look at just the top three teams that they got listed in every conference, right? For the most part, Memphis, Suns, Lakers. They gonna play them games, so them games gonna definitely matter. Regardless, they got to beat them dudes. They gonna be somebody that they trying to beat as far as rankings in the conference. Same thing with the top three in the West, considering that Zion and PG and Kawhi healthy. Same thing in West C. If we expect Minnesota to, take another jump with Cat being healthy, Golden State trying to make another championship run. The Kings is trying to keep progressing off of what they going. Every top three team that I see in every last one of these groups is, I think, is still playing for something. You might be able to say that they might, take them bottom two teams a little lightly, but for the most part, they're gonna have to. And then they saying that they're gonna see those teams four times. So you got to think about it. You're literally gonna see each one of them teams pretty much for the most part between November and whenever that tournament ends, like in the middle of December. You're gonna see all of your conference games for the most part in fucking November, December. So you have to, because the most times that a lot of people sit is when they got an out of conference game. If it's
yeah,
a bottom tier team, if it ain't really like nobody that ain't no Lakers Celtics, no Lakers 76ers, you know what I'm saying? They not gonna sit for them games. They gonna sit for like Lakers Pistons, Lakers Magic, or some shit like that. They can't sit for none of those games when this tournament shit is going on because you're playing in conference games. So I think the NBA was smart about doing that for the most part. They don't have to play just
Yeah.
because these games are counting towards the regular season.
So how do you win these?
every team got to play each other in their little bubbles, and then
How it go?
So when you look, so as far as the teams in the bubbles, right? Each one of those teams they play each other four times, right? So in pretty much each little group, A, B, and C, A, B, and C, you have to play each other four times. So let me go back to it. So we can get to the rules. Da, 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 da. Let me get back to it. So, all right. So you got eight teams that will advance to the knockout round. So you got the number one team, of course, in each one of those groups, and then you have two wild cards. So you got the team from each conference with the best record in group play games that finished second in his group. So you're gonna pretty much have four teams from each group, right?
Mhm.
So it's like three groups, right? So you got the first team in each group, and then you're gonna have a wild card. The wild card is gonna be whichever second place team pretty much finished with the best record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
So
kind of like
they doing that shit kind of like FIBA,
that's how they did the
yeah.
World
shit
So
like
then
that.
from there you got eight teams left. Yeah, they took a page out of what soccer was doing. That's exactly what they did. So then the knockout rounds is going to be single elimination games. So pretty much out of those four teams, I mean, well, you got eight teams altogether, but you got four in the West, four in the East. So once those teams are decided, then from there it's single elimination knockout games. Pretty much like so from there, think of it like the NCAA. It's you got one game and it's a one it's one game. Loser goes home once you get to that point.
Two. I ain't gonna stand. I'm kind. Hey, I'm
Ready to see this shit, man.
just
So
because.
It's a win-win because you wasn't doing nothing in the regular season anyway. Like you said, I think I was the only person watching goddamn
exactly,
regular season.
they did this to try to get viewership up for the regular season because you ask the casual fan, bro. Like, and I have a lot of friends like this. They don't watch the NBA until after football season ends, or they don't watch it until the playoffs start. this is gonna, and I catch, the goddamn me games that come on national TV, TNT, ESPN. This is gonna make me watch a lot more games on Bally.
The
This is gonna
only
make me
thing,
watch a lot more games
Man,
on NBA TV.
I think the load management shit.
still might be a problem, and I think that shit go kill the NBA. Cause I like basketball way more than football, but the NFL has it figured out, man. It's
Yeah,
none of this bullshit, man. Like
yeah.
it's bro, they come on, man. I feel like if they can
Because at the end,
avoid some
because
of the load management, it could be good, but I don't think they can. I really don't.
yeah, NFL you can't afford to have low management because one, your season's not that long. You don't really have so many rooms. You don't have that many, room for error in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? NBA, you got an 82 game season. You got niggas really picking and choosing when they are, when they ain't gonna play. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah, man, I literally had.
I was glad you did this because I didn't understand this shit like that. But now I kind of get it, and I'm looking forward to this shit a little bit, man.
yeah,
And
well,
when
I had to watch a couple of videos on it just kind of see, but yeah, it ain't that hard really. Because like when they was talking about it, I was just kind of trying to see how they was gonna format it. The only thing that I don't know is I don't know if they still gonna have other games going on whenever they actually do that 18. I think they gonna have just that stuff going on. I don't know if they gonna have any other. That's the only thing I don't understand.
Watch out for the Magic. I'm telling y'all.
there's gonna be a scary team in that type of thing. They gonna be
Yeah,
young and hungry.
but you know why I like the Magic in that group right there?
Wow.
They got to play Boston. What's up, DC? Hold on, boy. You hopped on. You at a whole party?
What do you say? Where you at, Chris?
I'm at the crib. I'm finna pull up in a little
The
bit.
crib.
You know I'm finna pull
I've
up
been
in a
live
little
for
bit.
27 minutes. You an hour away.
Nah, man, I had to talk my
I'm
talk.
trying
I
to
ain't
bounce
get to
another ball right now.
uh
I'm trying. I'm trying to get somebody else to bounce another ball.
but nah, I had to but nah, I'm finna pull up. What's going on, my boy? But nah, I'm finna
This
pull up
ain't
there
me,
in a little
brother.
bit though.
This ain't me, brother. He been drinking a lot. I apologize. Please
I
forgive
see,
us.
I see. Please forgive me.
I just wanted to call up on the show and tell you bring your ass on.
I'm
You
coming.
gonna have to you gonna have to do some edit. You
I'm
gonna have
about
to
to
edit
be
this shit out.
I ain't editing shit. We live, my boy. I ain't editing
Hey,
shit.
I'm on my Paul Pierce right now.
But yeah, but shit, I'ma holler
All
at
right,
y'all in a
bro.
little bit though. Them niggas stupid. But yeah, bro. But yeah, um, I had to hype myself up for this. I really did, cause you know how I am. I was like, man, what the fuck they doing all this extra stuff for? But I had to hype myself up. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. I feel like this is gonna be real good for the league, man. Real good for the casual fan. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
yeah, I just had to pop on because I was just like, man, I ain't even really been paying attention to the in season tournament. I knew it was coming, but now you took
yeah,
a look into
but
what
yeah,
it's looking like.
it's real simple, bro. Like I said, you gonna have so you see on the graphic, of course you're gonna have the best team from each group going to advance, and then whoever come in second place, whichever two teams got the best record out of second place, you know, from the east and the west, that's gonna be the next team added in. Then you're gonna have a from there you're just gonna have a tournament. The only thing I didn't see is if when that happens, let me see. I don't know if that when that happens, if oh yeah, okay. So they're gonna have single elimination games going from December 4th through the 5th, and then on the 7th through the 9th. So they probably just gonna have them games on the 4th through the 5th, and the 7th and the 9th they gonna have just so yeah. They probably gonna make it to where it's just them games. But yeah,
So I
I
get a
mean,
single game from each
and then I'll get on about her.
Oh
Cause
yeah,
I
we
literally
we gonna get on off at the same time. I ain't even planning on being on here for 30 minutes, but I'm glad I did because I really did want to talk about this, and I was mad I forgot to bring this up. But what's your Let me scroll back up just so everybody can see the teams again. I guess what's your sleeper in the West
I'm gonna do it real quick.
if you got
For
one?
West
Uh huh.
A, I ain't gonna stand. I got Memphis. That's crazy, but I think they're gonna be healthy. That should be a good team. They should
I
be
don't think that's a
hungry.
sleeper though.
Oh, never mind. John
Hold on,
Morant.
when
Stupid ass. Never mind. He
yeah,
out.
I was about to. He gonna be. Well, when does he come back?
He is 20 games, so
So when does the season start?
uh, it's November. No,
In no.
October. It usually
Yeah, so
started
he's
October, like around
yeah, so
Halloween.
he's gonna miss some of that.
Yeah, so never mind. It was around be
The Suns, but West B Mavericks. I'm not
Okay.
just being no homer. I just really think they can win it, and I feel like they the best team in that little division.
They're
So,
gonna take the
and then
Nuggets.
I got Minnesota. I think Minnesota got too much size for West C.
uh, East A. I got Cleveland.
I know people gonna say Philly, but I got Cleveland.
No, I'm not
East
mad at
B.
that. I ain't mad at that because we still don't know what the hell going on with Harden. Because you know,
Even with Harden, I just think him and Embiid.
A tournament setting, I don't trust them. Uh,
East
I
B.
feel that.
I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna lie.
I Milwaukee should, but I think the Knicks could get it. I really think the Knicks can get it.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna say it. I knew you was gonna say it.
And then EC, I think the Magic can get it because they beat Boston like 4 times last year, man. And then they
Yeah.
should be better. So them
Hmm.
just my sleeper picks. I'm really high on Orlando. I really think they can do it, but them my
I
sleepers.
feel you. So I feel like I got Phoenix and West A. Uh, I'm taking the Mavericks in West B, but I do if the Pelicans if Zion is gonna come back the way he's supposed to be, I think I'm taking the Pelicans in B. If Zion is back, if he ain't there, I'm taking the Mavericks. In the C, I'm taking the Kings, man. I feel like they are just going to get better. I know you got your opinions about the bonus and everything else going on, but hey, man, that nigga was third team All NBA for a reason. He was third team All NBA for a reason. So
They just
that's what I'm
address the
sticking with.
size, in my opinion. So it's like I'm just going with the size of Minnesota and to
I
be
I
better.
understand. So with the A block, I'm taking a sleeper pick just because I want to see how this goes. I think the Pacers, just because I feel like they got a lot to prove, so I'm gonna go with the Pacers. Uh, B, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Milwaukee. I'm gonna stick with Milwaukee and B, and then C. Uh, C, I think mm, it's gonna be between the Celtics and the Magic, but I feel like I probably take the Celtics in that one. Only because I feel like huh?
I said the Magic did beat them 4 times.
And the only thing is, they lost. I don't know if they'll be able to bounce back from the Grant and the Marcus Smart that quick. I don't know if that's gonna gel that quick. That's gonna be real early in the season.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe they rim protection would kind of help slow down Pablo just a little bit because I know he's not really a shooter like that. So maybe with the rim protection of KP combined with Robert Williams, if he's healthy, will kind of keep him out that paint area. So that's just kind of why I'm leaning towards that. Boston did get bigger with Porzingis. It's just gonna come down to health because him and Robert Williams, they defensive anchors that they're gonna pretty much be trying to lean on are both injury prone. So, but if I had to pick a second team, I would go with Orlando. I mean, part I kind of do want to pick Brooklyn just because I feel like Bridges and Claxton, if they get a full off season together, I feel like they can kind of figure out how to work with each other. But I do think that outside of them too, I think Brooklyn did kind of lose a lot. So that's the only reason why I ain't really, if it was the same Brooklyn team for last year, then I may have picked them. But I think they done lost too many other pieces.
Uh, all right, man. This is fun. I like this because this is a good idea. It's something new, and I like to play in. I don't care what nobody say. I like to play in too.
I don't too much care for the play-in, but it is what it is, you know. But that has been a special episode of the Cold Truth Podcast. I'm your host, White Boy Chris. That's Diddy Knows Ball. Until next time, we out, man.
All right, bro.
All right, fam.